Welcome to the channel, everybody. So today we are going to be continuing on with our pursuit of the Paragon title with Act 7.4.2, which will leave us only 4 more chapters left to go before we do receive that highest title of Paragon, at least currently, and the ability to get better rewards and better deals. So let's go ahead and get in there right away, look at what champions we brought with us and what you're going to be dealing with along the way on the path that we chose, and discuss some of the things that we did right as well as some of the things that we made mistakes on. So right off the bat here, we did go ahead and decide to bring in Apocalypse, Hercules, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Archangel, and Nick Fury. This is because most of the path that we chose is either tech champions or skill champions, so we had the counters for each, and we brought in Nick Fury primarily for the boss node, because we are going to be taking on Yellow Jacket. Now this does give us the ability to go ahead and focus quite well on the path. Let's go ahead and look at that and see how we did there and what we would be facing. But let's go ahead and look at what the nodes are. This is a paradox path. So for every 5 hits on your combo, you are going to go ahead and add an additional paradox charge to yourself. Now, keep in mind that for any path that is a paradox path, there's normally something that requires you to have at least 3 paradox charges. But if you get to 12 paradox charges, those charges will be removed and they will detonate, causing you direct damage. So be careful about keeping the balance there to get as many charges as possible to be above that 3, but make sure you never exceed 11. You will also have Anthropic Impairment. Now, for every a paradox charge you do have on you, your debuff duration will be increased by 30%. Keep in mind as well that every time you activate a special, you will remove a paradox charge off of you. Also on top of that, there is Quantum Decay. Unless you have at least 3 paradox charges on you, your ability accuracy is reduced by 50%. You also have Kinetic Instigator, which means anytime that you punch into their block, you will gain power. And finally, Limber, which means their stun durations will last an increased amount of time. So do keep that in mind and be careful on getting stunned at any point during this path. Now on the path here, you are going to have Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, like I said, followed by Hitmonkey, Human Torch, Iron Man Infinity War, Jabari Panther, and MODOK. After that, you're going to go ahead and go over to the boss island, where you do have the possible boss of Crossbones, Sabretooth, or Yellow Jacket. As we said, we were going to go ahead and take on the Yellow Jacket node there. You'll also be able to see any of the other nodes here for any of the other 2 bosses. If you want to go ahead and look and see if one of them may be a little bit easier on you, feel free to go ahead and pause and read those nodes. Yellow Jacket, you are going to have Combo Party. Now for every 10 hits on your combo meter, you will gain a cruelty buff, which it gives you 500 crit damage rating. If you lose your combo at any point in time though, you will have all of those cruelty buffs removed, and you will take 40% of his attack as direct damage for every one of those buffs that is removed. You are also going to have Encroaching Stun to deal with. Every 20 seconds, you will get a 3-second stun unless you activate a Special 1 or Special 2 as the timer expires. You also have Flux Dispersal. Hitting him gives him a charge that reduces damage by 5% per charge. You can remove those charges by landing heavies. As far as the heavies go, he also has Heavy Assault on him. This will make it so both yours and his heavies do 500% more attack damage. But when he is charging a heavy, he will become unstoppable. Finally, you will have Energize. His combat power is increased by 100%. Now let's go ahead and get into the path here and take a look and see how it went. Right off the bat, we are going to go ahead and start against Stark Enhanced Spider-Man with Cosmic Ghost Rider. We did slip up just a little bit on the first part of this match here, but After that, we're able to go ahead and push ourselves up to that SP3, get a few debuffs on him. We've already got a couple judgments going on him. Ideally, we are trying to get above 5 there. I don't believe we do at any point in time during this fight, but we are going to go ahead and activate that XP3 now that we do have at least 3 paradox charges on us. And this is going to go ahead and get him degenerating. This will give us a great chance to work our way back up to the SP2 to be able to go ahead and get the armor break and incinerate off the SP1 and then finish him off with the SP2 there. It is definitely one of those things that we're getting quite a bit of damage built up on him here, and that's pretty much all she wrote. We did go ahead and bring in Archangel for Hit Monkey here. It is definitely one of those fights that we could win very easily with Archangel, but I am going to make a couple mistakes here that are going to cost me greatly, and we are going to have to go ahead and bring in Apocalypse to finish him, which isn't a horrible thing because it is going to give us a chance to get some charges on Apocalypse so that we could work towards Horsemaning Archangel if we decided that we needed to. Now, one of the things about it is in the process of this, the biggest mistake we made, obviously, was pushing him to the SP3, but we also were walking out of this with several paradox charges on us that are going to carry over into future fights, so we are going to have to be very careful not to push those too high without going ahead and getting a few of them off of us. Now, like I said, Apocalypse is able to go ahead and finish Hit Monkey here, and we're able to go ahead and move on to the next fight. For Human Torch here, we went ahead and brought in Nick Fury for class advantage. It is a little bit of a risk because of needing to get the paradox charges, and on top of that, if we are to catch any of the Incinerate, he can deal us quite a bit of damage, risking us moving into that true Nick Fury form, which we'd prefer not to be in by the time we get to Yellow Jacket as the boss, so that we have as much life as possible to go ahead and deal with him. We are able to go ahead and, in spite of catching a few Incinerates there, get enough bleeds going on to Human Torch here to go ahead and finish him off with Nick Fury. Now, then we came over here to the Iron Man Infinity War fight, and this is going to be the first one that we make any kind of real mistakes on. We do quite a bit of damage here with Cosmic Ghost Rider, but unfortunately we are going to take more than what we deal out, and that is going to lead us to having to bring in another champion, which at that point, of course, for class advantage, we're going to go ahead and bring in Hercules. We did also push ourselves quite a bit up on those paradox charges, so we do have to worry about that in the future for future fights. But for right now, we are... But of course, we are going to play that careful, trying to get this down as quickly as possible. We do quite a bit of damage to Iron Man Infinity War there with Cosmic Ghost Rider, but it just wasn't enough. So we did go ahead and bring in Hercules here, figuring we'd go ahead and be able to cheese our way through it. Amazingly enough, Hercules is not always the answer. You can make mistakes with Hercules that will cost you big and cost you him. One of the mistakes was we did not take advantage of that time where we were indestructible, and instead let him go back to pummeling us after that had expired, instead of getting in there and doing our damage. Like right there, we went for the SP2 without making sure that we had the opening to do so. Big mistake there. So I thought I'd go ahead and bring in Nick Fury because he was down so low that I figured I'd finish him off quickly. Unfortunately, that cost us our LMD. So that was another big mistake where we should have revived either Cosmic Ghost Rider or Hercules and finished the fight that way. But we moved on anyways and came over here to the Jabari Panther fight with Apocalypse. We were able to do quite a bit on her as well. Obviously, this is another great chance to get our paradox charges up a bit while keeping that balance in place. Jabari Panther is one of those ones that is kind of a pain of a fight, but she is very doable with a good counter here, which Apocalypse, of course, is. We are going to get most of the way through this fight here, but we were able to get a few of our immunities in place as well, so that was an advantage for later on to keep in mind. We did go ahead and revive Archangel here. Probably should have just went ahead and revived Apocalypse and finished it, but we were able to go ahead and finish her off with Archangel without a problem there, and moved on to the MCOC fight. Now, of course, by this point, we are in true Nick Fury form, so we are doing a bit more damage, but unfortunately, even though that we are gaining power for hitting into those blocks there, with MCOC, that is a huge risk, and you don't want to do that too much. So that was one of those double-edged swords there, but we were able to go ahead and finish off MCOC and move over here to Yellow Jacket. I would have preferred to bring Nick Fury in his purest form for Yellow Jacket there, so that we could have had as much life as possible. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough having him already in the LMD to risk it. Great example there of just timing the SP1 right. You saw as that timer expired for Hercules there, we fired off the SP1, getting us into avoid that stun, which is definitely something you don't want to be catching against Yellow Jacket. There's too many opportunities for him to stun you as it is, and you can see here we are making mistakes left and right, which are going to cost us on this particular match. So we went ahead and moved over and thought we'd bring in Archangel, just get some of those bleeds on him and get him poisoned and get through this. But of course we do have quite a few paradox charges on us, and we are not able to keep that combo meter up, which is a risk in itself. So we went over to Cosmic Ghost Rider, who was our only champion that was still alive, and went ahead and attempted to do this with him. By this point, we went ahead and revived everybody, so we decided we'd go through the rotation. Apocalypse here coming in to do whatever he's going to be able to do and hopefully finish it off, but it's not going to be enough, so we're just going to go ahead and go back to Nick Fury and allow Nick Fury to do what he should have done from the get-go. We're going to stack up some bleeds. Unfortunately, the first attempt did not go well because of the fact that we just caught that SP1 before we could let the bleed damage do nearly enough. But you can see here we're getting those bleeds consistently on there now. Unfortunately, pushing him up to the SP3 was not a great move, so we had to go ahead and revive one last time, get those bleeds back built up on him, and you can see he's ticking away, and that's all she wrote, folks. That's another chapter in the book, and we are that much closer to our Paragon title. I hope this means that you guys are too. Feel free to reach out to me in the comments below and tell me how you guys' progression's going, and if there's anything else I can do to help. Feel free to reach out to me on Line Chat or Discord, both of which will be in the description of the video. And I will see you guys back for another one soon. As a matter of fact, we'll have another one tomorrow for the Paragon series and a live stream on Sunday, as well as a crystal opening on Monday. We'll be working on some new things here on the channel after we finish up this series, and with a lot of things left to come, so I'm really excited. I hope you guys have hit that like button and definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see all the great things coming to the channel. We are wrapping up the tournament as of today, and the announcement of the winner will be within the next day or so. I really want to thank everybody who took the time to participate in this tournament, and I will also like to thank everybody who has liked and subscribed, everybody who has been part of the channel so far, and I hope you guys all continue to join me on this journey because we have a long ways left to go. So I will see you guys back soon. Peace out.